and for commenting following Egypt's hosting of the D8 summit. We're joined from Cairo by Ayman Ghoneim, economic expert. Good evening to you, sir, and welcome to Qnews.
Good evening, madam.
Now, what is your comment on Egypt's hosting the D8 summit at this very particular time?
Well, the new republic that's now being established here in Egypt under the leadership of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is playing a pivotal role in its traditional circles, the Arab, the Islamic, and the African circles, the three traditional circles of the Egyptian diplomacy, as well as the wider circles, the European circle, the North America, and the Eastern circle, including, of course, the BRICS countries. Speaking about the developing countries, actually, Egypt is trying to cooperate with its traditional circles, as we said, both on the economic as well as the political fields, because we know that the relationship between economics and politics is a double way. There is an interrelationship between the economic ties and the political ties. Strengthening one leads to strengthen the other. Egypt now is trying to build its economy. It's encouraging its foreign direct investment. Egypt is promoting its exports, trying to reach the goal of $100 billion a year exports. And there is a wide area of cooperation and different fields in which we can cooperate with those countries. The Egyptian diplomacy traditionally, and especially also now, focuses on reaching settlement and attaining world peace and security. The Egyptian diplomacy focuses also on the strengthening of the bilateral relations, the strengthening of or the deepening of the economic ties and the common interests, and it's respected worldwide. We've seen the presidential activities during the last few months. We've seen the reception of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the European Union, and how Egypt was respected, and how the Egyptian diplomacy under his leadership was appreciated in the European Union, and before that in the BRICS summit and in the G20 summit. So all these efforts...
Mr. Karim, if I may specify the G8 and the role it can play in enhancing economic cooperation among the member states, and what specific strategies can Egypt employ during the D8 summit to leverage the discussions for attracting foreign investments?
Well, actually, Egypt has been calling for, as we said, increasing economic ties, especially adopting payment systems in currencies. I believe that such scheme can increase the bilateral trade between Egypt and its counterparties in the D8 group. That's one thing. Plus, now Egypt has a lot of competitive advantages that it's promoting. Egypt has, of course, a key role in Africa. Egypt is the key to Africa, to the African continent. And Egypt has proximity to the southern European market. It's the goods and commodities that are produced, let's say, in Southeast Asia, has to bear the cost of transportation from Southeast Asia all through the way through the Indian Ocean, then the Straits of Bab el-Mandeb, then the Red Sea until Suez Canal. But all this cost is deducted from the goods produced in Egypt. So many foreign investors, they are interested in establishing factories and production facilities here in Egypt in order to export to Southern Europe. Also, the infrastructure that Egypt has put a lot of investment during the last 10 years now is paying off and is encouraging.
Yes, but we're speaking about strategies that are to be put in this very particular summit so as to leverage the means of attracting foreign investments?
I believe that there should be a lot of bilateral agreements, especially to elevate the relationships between Egypt and many of these countries into or up to the level of strategic partnership, like the bilateral agreements between Egypt and Denmark, let's say, that was signed last month. That's on one hand, and also I believe that a lot of businessman councils can be established between the Egyptian businessmen and businessmen and business corporations in many of these countries, because such business councils has a vested interest in promoting the bilateral trade and promoting the foreign direct investment. So I believe that these two vehicles can be really beneficial to promote the economic ties between Egypt and the D8.
From Cairo, that was Mr. Ayman Ghoneim, economic expert. We thank you so much, sir, for your insights.